Hey, what's going on? Off 199 fans, it's your boy MusiqNerd, and this is my reaction to what could have been the worst weekend in Florida football history. And I am not exaggerating. It could have been had the Dolphins not saved us. So let me explain. Every major football institution, pro or college, lost their game this weekend, except for the Dolphins, who was able to pull it out just now, 23-15 against the LA Rams. So the Canes lost. State got killed by Notre Dame. Gators got killed by Texas, right around the corner from my house. It was loud. They really got into it. They were really excited that they beat the Gators. But FAU lost. Bethune Cookman lost. FAMU lost, and then get to Sunday, both the Bucks and the Jaguars lost. But Miami was able to save it. What could have been one of the worst weekends ever. We about to throw the whole state away. Maybe this is because we talked about the state of Florida college football on the podcast this weekend, or. But that's why the Dolphins get to rock the fit as I react, because they saved us from the worst weekend in football. Let's get down to it. Let's talk about how the Dolphins won. Now, the Dolphins won by generating pressure and playing very good lockdown defense on a very solid offensive team from the Rams, with a top 10 running back, a couple top 10 receivers, in my opinion, and a quarterback that's going to get them the ball. They were able to hold the Rams to just field goal attempts, did not let them get in the end zone. Now, there are a couple missed reads by Stafford, I think. Kyron Williams was definitely open for a touchdown there, but he did not look. But at the same time, you got to give credit for being able to put together that kind of defensive effort. And complimentary wise, offense played well, able to score every time they had the ball in the second half, except for the kneel down that they had. And also, they still need to get the ball more to Waddle and Hill and Beckham, in my opinion. Achan had another good game, but did not have over 100 yards or anything like that. It was a very sloppy football, very game, very ugly. Not pretty by any type of standards, but a win is a win, and it's definitely when you need one, you're not gonna complain about how you get it. So I'm proud of the Dolphins able to get a win. That's why they rocked the fit for that night. So let's get down to the big news of the weekend. Number 4, Hurricanes to suffer their first loss, and again to suffering the first loss for the second straight year to Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. All right, so let's get into it. I have a little bit more to say about this, and I'm not very happy. I do like the fact that Miami played as a Monday night game, so I could hold off my reaction to this, because like you want to sit on it, ruminate on it, so you say the right things. And when I get down to it, we had 3 keys in this game from me. Embrace, like, don't get over emotional about the fact that this is a revenge game. Still play how you played. Miami didn't play how they usually played. Dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides. Miami didn't do that. Didn't generate any pressure, and got pressure generated on them by a defensive line that doesn't generate pressure. And then also enjoy the fact that you are undefeated, that you're the better team, and dominate. And of course, Miami didn't do that because they lost. Getting into it, the defense I'm disappointed. You don't give up when you know the team is limited. And Georgia Tech is limited because Haynes King is limited. You know what they're going to need to win. And Georgia Tech was going to need to implement Florida State's game plan to win, and that's what they did. And they executed it. And Miami let them. They repeatedly let them get the edge. Repeatedly let them get the edge. A lot of missed tackles again. A lot of missed assignments again. The safeties played terribly. The linebackers played terribly. Defensive line didn't play much better either. Generated no pressure. Tyler Barron, no show. I know Simeon Barron got hurt. I know Moton got kicked out. That's kind of, he launched. It is what it is when it comes to that play. I didn't agree with it, but, it made it look worse because his helmet came off, so he was going to have to go. But, this defensive team, I'm going to say all that. That being said, they missed assignments and, but they still made enough plays for this offense, this high grade, supposed to be the best offense in the country, to win. And this is the first game that I'm going to say that the offense failed the defense. And I know how you can say that if the defense gave over 250 yards rushing, because the offense took no advantages of all the opportunities they had when they had the ball. And I say that Cam Ward missed a wide open Arroyo for a second touchdown. They ended up having to settle for a field goal to only make the game 10-7. The game should have been 14-7. It was another drive where Restrepo was wide open. He missed. And then I think they ended up turning the ball over on 4th down. It's just, Cam is great. He's having a great season. Just set the record, all types of records, and we'll set another next time he plays for single season records for Miami. He's having the best season a Miami quarterback has ever had in the history of the story program. That being said, he should have thrown for over 500 yards and had about 5 touchdowns in that game, and Miami would have been able to win. He missed people. He missed wide open touchdowns. He missed reads, holding the ball for that extra play. Not taking what the defense gives them. Because even though Georgia Tech probably played their best coverage game in the back end, he was not good when it came down to it. And he did not play well. And he missed a lot of things because Georgia Tech secondary is not good. That was obvious by the first play. They were able to get a Arroyo for a 74-yard touchdown right down the seam. So, I was very disappointed in how the Canes played. I was very disappointed in how they executed because they really didn't. Again, the running game, when used, was effective, but we just didn't use it enough. So now, what it comes down to, basically, the playoffs start now. You don't get any buffer. You got to win every game from here on out because you're not getting to the playoff without winning the ACC championship game now. Because if you would have gone 12-0, you would have had that buffer. You would have been able to go. You can go ahead and lose the ACC championship, and you'll be fine. Nah, not anymore. Especially when I think that they're going to be in maybe the lower teens, maybe mid-teens when the college football playoff rankings come out. Because look, let's be honest, ESPN people who make those rankings don't like Miami. They're not gonna punish Georgia for losing too much. They're gonna punish us for losing. So we gotta hope and pray that we get better. So we got a bye next week for the Hurricanes. I've already mentioned what happened to the Gators in state. We don't really need to talk about it. They're already firing coaches in Florida State. And surprisingly, Florida has decided to retain Napier, which I wasn't sure was going to happen. And I predicted it wasn't going to happen this year. But, hey, good for him. I'm not going to really put getting beat like that on him because Lagway didn't play and a bunch of other players that didn't play. So when it comes down to it, we'll see what happens. In the end of the day, the Gators still are halfway through a crazy gauntlet because they still got LSU and Ole Miss coming up. So maybe if they win one of those games, they'll be bowl eligible because they will beat Florida State. It's just no doubt about that, especially if Lagway plays, which I expect him to. So, all right, we may have a reaction next week, depending what goes on. Like, Dolphins play. We'll talk about that then. But the Miami Hurricanes are off, and they're going to have a lot of soul searching going on this week. So we'll see y'all then. Hopefully, check out the podcast. Brand new this weekend on all platforms. Thank y'all so much for checking us out. We will see y'all soon. All right, peace.